Okay, whenever you are ready, you can start.
Yes.
We have, yeah.
Can I?
Hello?
Yes. Hello? 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 Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to the Sutta study series being organized by Dhamma USA under the guidance of Venerable Bhante Sumitta. We are going to study concluding part 4 of Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta today. It is from the Majjhima Nikaya number 9 Sutta. May I now request Bhante ji to begin the Dhamma Desana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Sammā Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, Dhamma friends around the world. Greetings to all of you. And as part of the Sutta study series, we are going to start our Sutta Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 9. Sammā Diṭṭhi means right view. And so in the Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta, we have discussed about how to improve right view and eventually how to get rid of this samsara through the right view. And Noble Eightfold Path and Four Noble Truths are constantly mentioned in this sutta. So it's a really important sutta. And I would like to go to the sutta in full, but today I'm going to the place that we have stopped. And Venerable Sariputta explained about the Sammā Diṭṭhi, how Sammā Diṭṭhi can happen to us, and starting with wholesome and unwholesome, and then he goes on to explain the the nutrients, and then the nutriment, and then also he explains about Venerable Sariputta explains the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. After this Four Noble Truths, we go to the this one, aging and death. So it's really interesting how these all these factors about the Dhamma can lead someone to get rid of this samsara. And when Venerable Sariputta explained to the other monks, so many monks were there gathering to listen to the wonderful Dhamma talk of Venerable Sariputta. And so here Venerable Sariputta explains about so many ways to improve the right view. Right view is one of the most important factors that all of us should have. Right view. If we have wrong view, that is like you have a wrong navigation. So you enter wrong address, and then what happens? You will go to the wrong destination, right? So right view is very, very important. In the Noble Eightfold Path, you can also see why right view is given as the first step. Right view, Sammā Diṭṭhi, that is the first step. And without Sammā Diṭṭhi, everything else can be wrong. So it's really important, Sammā Diṭṭhi. This particular sutta called Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, that is why it's so important to all of us. And Venerable Sariputta explains so many ways to improve our Sammā Diṭṭhi. And by doing so, even by improving or inculcating or developing one of these steps can lead us to Nibbana. That is why it's so important. So the first one, he talks about the wholesome, unwholesome, kusala, akusala, and then the roots of kusala, akusala, he explains. And if someone is smart enough to work on that, that itself will be good enough for that person to improve the Sammā Diṭṭhi, and then eventually get rid of this samsara. And then he also talks about the nutriment, the ahara, different kinds of ahara. He talks about that. And then if someone is smart enough, skillful enough, he or she can also get rid of this samsara by improving, developing his or her Sammā Diṭṭhi. And then he goes on to explain again another step, that is the Four Noble Truths. And in fact, Four Noble Truths covers the whole thing, the entire Buddha Dhamma, we can say. And here we have aging and death. It's part of the Dukkha Satya. And so even this is good enough if someone wants to get rid of this samsara, if someone wants to improve his or her Sammā Diṭṭhi. So it's really important. Just let's go ahead and read this part. Sadhau soti kote bhikkhu ayasmato sariputtasya bhasitang abhinanditva anumoditva ayasmantang sariputtang uttari panyang apuchung. So when Venerable Sariputta explains that, the other monks were very happy. Then they asked another question. Siyapanauso anyopi pariyayo yatha arya savako Sammā Diṭṭhi hoti ujugatassa diṭṭhi dhamme avecca pasadena samannagato ima agato imang saddhammati. Venerable Sir, is there any other way that we can improve our Sammā Diṭṭhi? We can straighten our Sammā Diṭṭhi. We can have that unwavering confidence in the Dhamma. We can also have something, the confidence that we are in the right true Dhamma. So, is there any other way? Venerable Sariputta said, Siya also. Yes, friends. Yatoko also Arya Savako Jara Maranancha Pajanati, Jara Marana Samudayancha Pajanati, Jara Marana Nirodhancha Pajanati, Jara Marana Nirodha Gamini Patipadancha Pajanati. So, this is the other path that Venerable Sariputta explained to the monks. When friends, noble disciples understand the aging and death, Jara is aging, decaying, and Marana is death. So aging and death, even if we work on this one, and the origin of aging and death, the cessation of aging and death, and the way leading to the cessation of aging and death, and that will also be good enough for someone to have that wonderful confidence in the Dhamma and have that Sammā Diṭṭhi right view. This will be again very important. So again, Sammā Diṭṭhi and Jara Marana, what is the relationship? Jara is like decaying of the body. It talks about the constant impermanence of the body, and every one of us is subject to decay, subject to death. And if we can realize this, understand this, that itself will be good enough for us to get rid of so many other defilements. We do have so many other defilements. We have ego, we have craving, we have so many different attachments. We want to accumulate so many things, this and that. All these things we can get rid of if we know the real truth about decay and death, Jara and Marana. That is why this also will be helpful to improve our Sammā Diṭṭhi. So Venerable Sariputta say, Ettavatapiko also Arya Savako Sammā Diṭṭhi hoti Ujugatassa Diṭṭhi Dhamme Avecca Pasadena and Agato Imang Saddhammang. So this noble disciple can recognize that I am in the right path, I am in the true path, I am in the true Dhamma. My confidence in the Dhamma is now unwavering. You can recognize it if you are in this, if you realize this as well. So, Yate Sante Sang Sattanang Tamhi Satta Nikaye Jati Jara Jiranata Khandichang Palichang Valitta Chata Ayuno Sanghani Indriyanang Paripako. Now, Jara is explained by Venerable Sariputta. Tesang Sattanang. So, in different sentient beings, living beings, or orders of beings, Tamhi Satta Nikaye, in different categories of beings. Jati, Jara means old age, and Jiranata means brokenness of teeth. Khandichang, this is again brokenness of teeth, Palichang, and then grayness of hair, Valita Chata, wrinkling of skin, and Ayuno Sanghani, decline of line, Indriyanam Paripako, weakness of faculties. And this is how it happens. This is Ayang Uchata so Jara. This is what we call Jara, decaying. So we are constantly subject to undergo these transformations in our life, in ourselves. So we can see how our teeth, the eye, the ear, the nose, the skin, and the whole body, how it is slowly and slowly decaying. When we understand that, that will really be very helpful to realize one of the core essential teachings of the Buddha, that is the anicchata, the impermanence. Katama chauso marana. What is marana? What is the death? A lot of people are very scared of death. They don't want to talk about death. But in Buddhism, we talk more about death. And Buddhist people are really very, very comfortable in talking about the death. They practice about the death. When we practice about the death, it really helps us in encountering the real death. When it happens, we don't feel really shocked. We really feel more comfortable and confident in the in facing the death. So it's really important to know what is death too. So the death is defined here in this sutta, Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta, as Ya tesang tesang sattanang tamha tamha sattanikaya chuti chavanata bhedo antardhanang machu maranang kala kiriya kandhanang bhedo kalebarasa nikkepo jivitindriya jivitindriya supacchedo idang uchatavso marana. So ya tesang tesang sattanang, those different beings, and Tamha Tamha Sattanikaya, from those various orders of beings, categories of beings, Chuti, passing away, Chavanata, dissolution, Bhedo, disappear. Bhedo is actually breaking away, and Antaradhanang is disappearing, and Machu, dying, Maranang, completion of time. Machu and Marana, they actually more or less the same. Kala Kiriyang, again, dissolution of the aggregate. Kandhanam Bedo, dissolution of the aggregate. Kalevarasanikkebo, laying down of the body. Jivitindriyasa Upachedo. So Jivitindriya means life faculty. The breaking away of the life faculty. This is called Marana. In the translation, we have some translation missing, but we can really recognize Machu Marana. So how the body decays. In Dhammapada, there is a beautiful stanza. The Buddha explains about the Marana, and there are like Ayu usmacha vinyanang yada kayang jahantimang apavidho tada seti nirathangva kalingarang. This body will lay down on the earth when we don't have ayu, that is life, and usma, that is warmth, and vinyana, that is consciousness. When these three things we do not exist in the body will lay down, a body will fall on the floor or earth, just like a dry stick. That is the Dhammapada meaning, the meaning of that stanza. So here also we can see the breaking of the body and the whole process of this body, dissolution of the aggregates, laying down of the body. This is called marana. This is called death. So jara and marana are again very important for us to know. And marana can also be like Kanika Marana, like every single moment that we die, and that's another one. And so we bodily transform every time. Although we don't see it in our naked eye, actually we are all the time, we are evolving, and some of our millions of our cells, they are born and dying and decaying, and this process is constantly happening in us. So in Buddhism, this practice of marana is very important again. Now, in the sutta, the Venerable Sariputta mentioned, iti ayang cha jara idang cha maranang. idang uchchata uso jara marana. So this jara, the decay and marana, death, this is called jara marana. Jati samudaya jara marana samudayo. When birth happens, so the root cause of this jara marana is the birth. Due to jati or the birth, jara marana occurs, and jati nirodha, jara marana nirodha. So when somebody can get rid of this jati or the birth, that person can get rid of jara and marana too. Ayameva ariyo attangiko maggo jara marana nirodha gamini patipada. So the path leading to the cessation of jara marana, to stop jara marana, is the noble eightfold path, attangika magga. So again, very important. We have discussed about the noble eightfold path before. Please go have a look if you missed this. We have already done 3 lessons on this sutta so far. Sammā Diṭṭhi, Sammā Sankappa, Sammā Vācā, Sammā Kammanta, Sammā Jiva, Sammā Vāyāma, Sammā Sati, Sammā Samadhi. These are the noble eightfold path. So noble eightfold path is connected to all the factors here in this Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta. Really, really important. The path leading to the to all these things is nothing but some noble eightfold path. Yatoko also Arya Savako evan jara maranang pajanati. When the noble disciple thus knows the jara and marana, that is decay and death, evan jara marana samudayam pajanati. When he knows the jara marana samudaya means the root cause of jara marana, that as we learned jati, that is the birth. Evan jara marana nirodhang pajanati. When he knows the cessation of jara marana, and evan jara marana nirodha gamini patipadang pajanati, and when he knows the path leading to the cessation of jara marana, then so sabbaso raganusayang pahaya, then he explains the same way like before, how raga and other things are right. So sabbaso raga anusayang pahaya patighanusayang pativinodetva asmiti ditti mana anusayang samohanitva avijjang pahaya vijjang upadetva ditteva dhamme dukkha santa karo hoti. So when this noble disciple, he understands this, then he entirely abandons the underlying tendency to lust. Raga anusaya. Anusaya means it is deep rooted in us. Very, very difficult to get rid of this raga, what we call lust. And when somebody is well versed in this truth about the jara marana, that person can get rid of lust. He has the capacity to abandon the lust. He abolishes the underlying tendency to aversion. And when you think of the jara marana, you don't have anything to like feel angry with anyone, right? We already know everything is impermanent. Everything is subject to decay and death. So why should we get angry? Nothing. That anger will not happen to you. He can abolish the underlying tendency to aversion, means the deep-rooted underlying layer of the aversion, which is really a difficult part. You know, you have to actually become anagami to completely get rid of the anger. Kamaraga patiga will be substantially removed when you are in sakadagami position. And when you are in anagami position, it will be completely gone. So this is the underlying tendency to aversion. And he extirpates the underlying tendency to the view, that is again, view, so many views, so many opinions we have. And then the conceit, I have, this is me, this is myself, this is mine, and all these kinds of egocentric propositions will not be there when you exactly know that about this very, very profound teaching of Jara and Marana. That is why it is really important to know about the Jara Marana. And by abandoning ignorance, he can also get rid of ignorance. Ignorance, again, when you mean like somebody can get rid of ignorance, that means you are already arahantavud, like liberated one, arousing true knowledge. Here and now, he makes an end of suffering. Dukkha santakaro hoti means here in this life itself, we can get rid of the sansara. So it's a really, really powerful teaching. That is why it is so important to all of us. Even this one is good enough for someone to have the Sammā Diṭṭhi. And when you have Sammā Diṭṭhi, etavatapiko also Aryasavako Sammā Diṭṭhi hoti, Ujugatassa Diṭṭhi, Dhamme aveccha pasadena samannagato, agato imang saddhammang. When a noble disciple has thus understood the aging and death, origin of death, aging, death, cessation of death, aging and death, and the way leading to the cessation of aging and death, here and now makes an end of suffering. In that way, to noble disciple is of right view, and that way he also can say like Arya Savako Sammā Diṭṭhi hoti. That person has Sammā Diṭṭhi already there. If you have this very clear vision of Jara Marana, that means your Sammā Diṭṭhi is very good. Ujugata Saditti, your Sammā Diṭṭhi will be straightened. And Dhamme Aveccha Pasadena Samannagato, we can guarantee that you have that unshaken confidence in the Dhamma. This is again really important. A lot of people, they practice Buddhism, they listen to so many Dhamma talks, they go to the temple, but they are still not sure that they are in the right path. They are not confident in the Dhamma. And when you have this profound understanding of the Jara Marana, that itself will be good enough for you to have that unshaken confidence in the Dhamma. And agato imang saddhammang, then you will know, I am in the Dhamma now. I am in the true Dhamma. You will know that. And that is why this again is only one way. This will work for some, this will not work for others, you know. So it depends on. But this again, like with the other previous steps, this is another way Venerable Sariputta explains to the monks that you can straighten, you can have the right view, Sammā Diṭṭhi. And then when Venerable Sariputta explains that, then the monks were really curious. They know there are so many things that we can learn from Venerable Sariputta. And then the monks asked Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Sir, do we have some more? They really want to know more. Dig into more of the profound teaching of Venerable Sariputta. Remember, Venerable Sariputta has an amazing capacity to explain things in detail. That's why a lot of monks, they used to come from so many faraway places to listen to Venerable Sariputta's Dhamma talk. And Venerable Sariputta say, yes, Siya also. Yatoko also Arya Savako Jatincha Pajanati, Jati Samudayancha Pajanati, Jati Nirodhancha Pajanati, Jati Nirodha Gamini Patipadancha Pajanati. Now he talks about the birth. Now we learned before Jara Marana, and then we learn about the Jati. And when somebody knows about the Jati, the birth, and the root cause of birth, and the cessation of birth, and the path leading to the cessation of birth, that also will help someone to have Sammā Diṭṭhi, straighten Sammā Diṭṭhi, and have confidence, unshaken confidence in the Dhamma, and also to know that someone has come to the true Dhamma. This again is another one. Really interesting. Let's see how the birth is explained in the sutta. So, Ya tesang tesang sattanang tamhi tamhi sattanikaye jati, sanjati, okkanti, abhinibbati, khandhanang patubhavo, ayatananang patilabho. This is how the jati is explained in the sutta. In many suttas, actually. Venerable Sariputta has another sutta. He explains about this thing in Satya Vibhanga Sutta, also has more or less the similar explanation. And there are so many other suttas too. Actually, they talk about this. So what is jati here? Jati means the birth of beings in various orders of beings, and they are coming to birth, jati. Sanjati, again, jati, sanjati, they have more or less the same meaning. Come into being, and then okkanti, precipitation in a womb. Abhinibbati, again, like, when you are inside the womb of the mother, that also is another kind of jati. Kandhanang patubhavo, and then there you have the manifestation of like appearance of many different organs of the body. And inside the mother's womb, the baby can have different aggregates. So ayatananang patilabho, and then again obtain in the basis for other things, and other faculties, chakku sota gana jivha, these eye, ear, nose, all these faculties appear, and these all actually are a part of jati. Ida ayang uchita also jati. Then the root cause of jati is bhava, that is existence. And jati samudayo, bhava samudaya, jati samudayo, because of bhava being, the jati happens or the birth happens. And bhava nirodha, if that is the root cause, when you get rid of it, you can get rid of jati too. And then the path leading to that again is a noble eightfold path. And yeah, this is again, if someone learns about this very profoundly, and if the noble disciple knows about this, and then he can also knows about this according to the Four Noble Truths. Remember these Four Noble Truths, they follow in each and every step here. And actually the whole sutta also explains about all the parts of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. So this sutta is really a combination of Four Noble Truths, Noble Eightfold Path, and the paticca samuppada. It's a very profound sutta actually. And so when he does that, he can again sabbaso raganusayang pahaya, like I said before, that person can completely get rid of raga, the latent tendency, those deep-rooted tendency of raga, lust. And patigha, patigha anusayang vinodetva, that means he can also get rid of the aversion. Asmiti ditti mananusayang samohanitva, he can also get rid of the asmimana, what you call that conceit, that ego that we have. Avidyam pahaya, he can get rid of avidya, the ignorance. Vidyam upadetva, he can generate the wisdom. Ditteva dhamme, that means in this life itself. Dukkha antakaro hoti. Dukkha antakaro means you end the suffering. So when you end the suffering, that means there will be no more birth, no more jati. And again, this is another way of having yourself the Sammā Diṭṭhi. So let's go to the other one now. Bhava. So the bhava was the cause of jati, right? So now Venerable Sariputta explains about the bhava. And let's go directly to talk about what is bhava, the definition of bhava. And here, the bhava is explained as there are three bhavas: kama bhava, rupa bhava, and arupa bhava. So, like kama bhava, we are all in kama bhava. There are 11 kama bhavas, for Manusa, human realm is one, and then Naraka, Tirachana, Peta, Asura. These are the lower realms. They are also Kama Bhavas. And then we have the six divine heavenly realms. These 11 are called Kama Bhava. So, like animals also have lust, humans have lust, even the devas have lust. And so every sentient being in these spheres, in these worlds, they are engaged in karma. So it's part of their samsara. And then in the rupa bhava, actually they have substantially subsidized this karma tanha. Rupa bhava actually is a Brahma realm, Rupa Brahma realm. They are not interested in karma that much. So they are fine material states in the Brahma realm. They are actually in jhanic modes. So they are uh, development, a spiritual attainment is very powerful. And when it comes to arupa bhava, they don't even want to have the rupa. They don't have any desire, attachment towards the rupa, and that is why they are in the arupa bhava, immaterial state. But remember, if you are born in an immaterial Brahma realm, that means you don't have any body, so you can't even listen to the Dhamma. And it happened to some of those Brahmas, like Buddha's previous teachers, Alara, Kalama, Uddaka, Ramaputta. They were already born in the Arupa Bhava. And because of that, they could not, Buddha could not help his teachers, former teachers. He wanted to help, but he recognized, he knew that they have already passed away just a while ago. So unfortunately, the Buddha could not teach them the Dhamma. If they were alive, Buddha could definitely, that they were in the priority list of the Buddha. Buddha could help them, rescue them from this samsara. But unfortunately, they were born in the Arupa realm, so they could not be helped. And then, so again, Kama, Rupa, and Arupa, these are the threefold existences that we have. And then the root cause of this is Upadhana. We will be born in this Kama and Rupa and Arupa world because we have Upadhana, because we have clinging to them. And Upadhana Samudaya Bhava Samudayo, because of the Upadhana, the existence happens. Upadhana Nirodha Bhava Nirodho. When you don't have it, the Bhava will not be there anymore. And I am Evario Tangiko Maggo. Again, for Noble Eightfold Path is the way to that path. And now Venerable Sariputta explained to him the monks, and then here in this part again he goes on to explain another important part that is called Upadhana. So let's see what is Upadhana, how the Upadhana is explained here. Chattarimani also Upadhanani, Katama Kamupadana, Ditthupadana, Silabbatupadana, and Attavadupadana. So there are four clingings, four kinds of clinging. Kama Upadana means clinging to sensual pleasures. It's a really, really difficult thing again that many of us have this Kamupadana. Very powerful, very, very strong urge, attachment that we have towards the Kama. And it's very difficult to get rid of in this Kama world. And Ditthi Upadana also Like people have views. It is again a very, very difficult thing to get rid of. When you cling to something, when you have upadana towards a view, like Michaditti or something. There are a lot of people thinking like this thing, that thing. They don't want to listen to others. They don't want to change no matter what. And it's very, very difficult. Ditti itself, can be upadana in that way. And sila patupadana is sila and vata, rules and observations. Oh, different kinds of rituals and practices and all these things, like again, you are so much addicted to that, you are so much uh, cling to that can also be mostly not leading you to the liberation. Remember, there are good silas, there are good practices, they can lead you to get out of this samsara, that's a different thing. But there are many, many other unwanted, unnecessary, misleading silabhata paramasa. Those things will be very difficult to get rid of. Remember, when you become sotapanna only, you can get rid of these things completely. Silabhata paramasa, and that's something that you can get rid of when you become sotapanna. But we have to try, we have to learn, and we have to get rid of them. We have to make some effort. Otherwise, it won't happen. And the other one is attavadu padana, clinging to a doctrine of self, thinking that something permanent is there in us, and that goes from this birth to another birth, and one birth to another, this birth to the other. So we always think, if we think that way, that again is a very dangerous upadana, very dangerous clinging. These four upadanas again will be something that will obstruct our Sammā Diṭṭhi. And tanha is the root cause of this upadana. So tanha is the craving, and if you get rid of tanha, then the upadana will be gone. Again, the path towards that is the Noble Eightfold Path. Now we go to tanha. What is tanha? So tanha is explained in the sutta as Rupa Tanha. There are 6 classes of craving here. Chaime also Tanha, Tanha Kaya, Rupa Tanha, Saddha Tanha, Gandha Tanha, Rasa Tanha, Pottabha Tanha, and Dhamma Tanha. So when you see a Rupa, a form, you have desire, you have clinging to that. When you hear something pleasant, you have attachment to that. When you smell something pleasant, you have desire towards that. And when you taste something pleasant, then again you have tanha. Pottabha, when you are contacted with something pleasant, again you have so dhamma again about the mental objects. Mentally also you can have so many tanhas. So these things are called tanha. So there are 6 kinds of 6 classes of craving right here in this sutta. So we have to be careful about this, and this thing will be repeated in the following factors too. So it's important to know. And then the root cause of this is Vedana. Vedana is feeling. It can be pleasant, Sukha Vedana, Dukkha Vedana, Adukkha Sukha Vedana. It can be pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or neutral feeling. Then that is the Vedana Samudaya Tanha Samudaya. So when you have Vedana as the root cause, then Samudaya Tanha will be there. When you get rid of Vedana, Tanha will be no more. And then again, the Noble Eightfold Path is the path towards that, to get rid of this Tanha. And now you see how all these things are very helpful to improve our Sammā Diṭṭhi. Really, really take some time, meditate on these things, and try to learn how those things are so important to us. Now, Vedana. Venerable Sariputta explains about the Vedana. Now, let's go to the definition here. And again, we have 6 classes of feeling. And now, Chakku Sampassaja Vedana, Sota Sampassaja Vedana, Ghana Sampassaja Vedana, Jivha Sampassaja Vedana, Kaya Sampassaja Vedana, and Mano Sampassaja Vedana. Now, when you have these Vedanas, the feeling, eye contact, when you see something and you have Vedana, you see a beautiful form and then you have pleasant feeling. You have something not unpleasant form, then you have, like if you have pleasant form, if you see a pleasant form, you have desire. If you see an unpleasant form, you have aversion or ill will. So raga or dosa can happen. Chakku sampassaja vedana, that is through eye. Sota sampassaja vedana, same thing can be through the ear. And then the ghana is nose, and jivha is the tongue, and kaya is the body, and mano sampassaja vedana, again, even the mental objects, mind related, mind contacts, feeling born of mind can also be there. So yeah, it's a continuous process, and to know these things, to learn these things, to contemplate on these and think of these things in your meditation can really, really be helpful. I strongly recommend you read this sutta and part by part, and then focus on these things in your meditation. It really goes deep into your heart. Those things, if you have, that will somehow, somewhere, open up your Dhamma Chakku, Dhamma eye. And then the root cause of this Vedana is the Phassa, contact. So Phassa Pachya, Phassa Samudaya Vedana Samudaya, because of Phassa or the contact, the Vedana happens, the feeling happens. Phassa Nirodha Vedana Nirodha, if you don't have it, the Vedana will not have it. And then again, the Noble Eightfold Path is the path towards the getting rid of this thing. And then you can have that again Sammā Diṭṭhi. And now we go to contact. What is Phassa? And again, Phassa or contact is explained here. The definition again 6-fold. Chakku, Sota, Ghana, Jivha, Kaya, Mana. So Chakku Sampasso, eye contact, ear contact, and then nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, and mind contact. So these things still maybe like if you close your eye, you won't see something. If you like somehow block your ear, you don't hear something. You can block your ghana, you can block your jivha, and you can block your kaya, but it is so difficult to block your mano. It's not so easy, very, very difficult. So these are called salayatana. So, sorry, these are called phassa. And salayatana is the root cause of these contacts. Salayatana is, we will discuss that later on. So 6-fold base. And when you have salayatana, the phassa can happen. When you get rid of salayatana, phassa will cease. And then again, the path is the Noble Eightfold Path. And then the 6-fold bases, and we have salayatana here. Again, there are 6. Chaimani also ayatanani, chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, mana. So in fact, if we now we know the very, very crucial role of this salayatana. Chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, mana. the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind. The role of these things to carry us throughout the samsara is a really, really powerful one. So we need to know that how important the role of these things, and how all these things can happen, how we create karma, how we generate karma through these salayatanas. Really, really terrifying sometimes. You can think of it. And if we pay more attention to that, maybe we can slowly restrain ourselves. So practice of sila very, very important. Then we can get rid of so many defilements. Now, the root cause of these salayatana is the nama and rupa. Nama rupa samudaya salayatana. When you have nama rupa, salayatana happens. When you get rid of nama rupa, salayatana will also cease. And then again, the Noble Eightfold Path is the way to get rid of that. Now we go to mentality, materiality, or nama rupa. Some even translate it as name and form. And let's go find out what is mentality and what is materiality. Chattare cha mahabhutani, chatunnam cha mahabhutanam, upadaya rupang. Now, okay, I think nama is Vedana. Nama is this one actually. Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Phassa, Manasikara. These are Didang Uchata also Nama. Nama, or the name, is actually like the mind. So here Vedana is feeling, Sanya is perception, Chetana is volition, Phassa is contact, and Manasikara is attention. These are the what we call Nama. And Rupa, Chattaricha Mahabhutani, Mahabhuta, four Mahabhutas, or four elements, great elements, like Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Chatunnancha Mahabhutanana, Upadaya, Rupam. And four great elements and the material form derived from the four great elements. And this is called materiality, or Rupa. So Nama and Rupa. It is also called Nama and Rupa like the cripple and the blind. They help each other. The cripple person cannot walk and the blind person cannot see. But if they get together, if the blind person can keep the crippled person on his shoulder, then they can walk. A blind person can walk and crippled person can see. So they have some thing that they don't have in common, but they can use it to go ahead in the samsara. Same thing. It is said Nama and Rupa, they are mutually helpful to carry out us in the samsara, lead us to the samsara. And because of Nama Rupa, we have salayatana, right? And now we will see what is the root cause of this Nama Rupa, that is the Vijnana. Vijnana samudaya Nama Rupa samudaya. Vijnana nirodha Nama Rupa nirodha. When you have Vijnana, Nama Rupa happens. When you don't have Vijnana, Nama Rupa will cease. And then again, the Noble Eightfold Path is given as the path to get rid of them. Now we go to Vijnana, consciousness. And so consciousness again is sixfold. Chaime also Vijnana Kaya. Vijnana is like a body here. Chakku Vijnana, Sota Vijnana, Ghana Vijnana, Jivha Vijnana, Kaya Vijnana, Mano Vijnana. Let's say you see something through the eye, the recognizing capacity is the Vijnana. Okay, eye is just the window. Sota is the hearing window. Ghana is the smelling or sensing of that nose window. Jivha is the tasting window. Kaya is the contacting window. Mano is then again the Dhamma window, and Vijnana is the capacity to recognize something. When you see some rupa, that person we will recognize. Oh, this person I know. This is my mother. This is my father. Whatever, you know. So that is what we call, that recognition capacity is what we call Chakko Vijnana. Same thing with the others. When you hear some sound familiar, you recognize right away. Oh, this person is my brother, sister, whosoever. You will recognize. Same thing with the others. So Vijnana again is the root cause of Vijnana is Sankara. Sankara is the formation, and Sankara Samudaya Vijnana Samudaya. Because of Sankara, Vijnana happens. Because of formations, Vijnana happens. And Vijnana Nirodha, Sankara Nirodha, Vijnana Nirodha. When you don't have Sankara, Vijnana will cease. And then Noble Eightfold Path is explained as the way to get rid of that. So we see now how important it is to learn much more about the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, formation. So Sankara, very important again to learn about Sankara, because through Sankara we create karma. And we can see here three kinds of formation: Kaya Sankara, Vachi Sankara, and Chitta Sankara or Mano Sankara. So Kaya Sankara, as the first Kusala Akusala, in that lesson we learned about that Kaya Sankara, like the bodily karma that we do through the body, like killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. So Kaya Sankara. And bodily formation. Through the body we generate karma. And if you get rid of it, Panatipata Veramani, that means we generate wholesome karma. Again, still we are creating karma. Okay. And Vachi Sankara, Musavada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampappalapa, the fourfold verbal Sankaras, this again will be creating a lot of karma. For speech and Musavada and Pisunavacha, Vacha, the slandering, and then Parusavacha, the harsh words, and then gossip, all these things can create karma. And if you get rid of it, you create unwholesome karma. If you are engaged in this, you create unwholesome karma. Chitta Sankara, Abhijja, Vyapada, Miccha Diṭṭhi. And Abhijja is strong, very strong desire or greed. And then Vyapada is very strong ill will, aversion. And then Miccha Diṭṭhi is the wrong view. This again is really bad Chitta Sankara. And then again, we have the root cause of this Sankara, Avijja. Avijja is the root cause of Sankara. When you get rid of Avijja, Sankara will be no more. And then again, if you want to get rid of Sankara, follow the Noble Eightfold Path. Let's go to Avijja. Avijja is one of the most powerful defilements that any of us can have. Very, very difficult and very, very tricky this Avijja thing is. Yanko also dukkhe Ajnanam, dukkha samudaya ajnanam, dukkha nirodhe ajnanam, dukkha nirodha gamini patipadaya ajnanam. So jnana means knowledge, ajnana means not knowing. That you don't have the knowledge, you don't know. You don't know about the suffering, you don't know about the dukkha, and you don't know about the cause of the dukkha. You don't know about the cessation of the dukkha and the path leading to the cessation of the dukkha. That will be again a very strong, very powerful ignorance. And this is called avidya in this sutta. So avidya is explained in many, many ways, but this is the root, this is the central point, like not knowing about the Four Noble Truths. I have actually explained this thing before also. When we think of a lot of things, like in the Buddha said, Patavi Sagaro Mero, Khayang Yanti Yugakhaye. So the great earth, the great ocean, and the great mountain, these things will also be somehow, somewhere, someday will be gone, completely gone. And it might take like millions and millions of years, but somehow this whole ocean will be dried away. There will be no trace of them. No trace of water will be there one day. And the whole earth will be also gone. Whole mountain also will be gone. But still, our ignorance will be there. Ignorance will still fool us. Ignorance will still trick us and take us back to the samsara. So it is so very serious. We have to be really careful about that, how this ignorance can fool us. Sometimes when you have a good title, people will appreciate you, people will say good things about you, then you will be very happy. Oh, this is very good. It's actually not very good. You are fooling yourself, and your ego is built up on that. Let's say like you are very educated, you are good looking, you are very rich, you have so many properties, all these things can really fool us only eventually. So ignorance, very dangerous. And asava samudaya, avidya samudaya. Asava is the root cause of this thing. They are actually interrelated. Because of asava, the cankers, so avidya happens. And when you get rid of cankers, avidya will be gone again. Noble Eightfold Path is the way to get rid of that. And pains or cankers or asava, again, very difficult something that we have in us. Those defilements that we have, they are very strong, deep rooted. You can get rid of some of the defilements very easily, but something like this asava, very difficult. When you attain arahanta only, you can get rid of these stains. That is why the arahanta person is called asava khaya. Okay, so tayome also asava, kamasava, bhavasava, avidyaso. You see now why they are so important. Kama asava and the bhava asava, and we want to live more, and we want more sensual pleasure, and we have the avidya. These three things are really taking us back to the samsara. You see why they are important. Now again, avidya samudayo. Now we see asava is the root cause of, in the previous one we learned here, asava as the root cause of avidya, right? And now we see asava samudaya avidya, and now we see how avidya is playing a role again. Very interesting. And avidya samudaya, asava samudaya. Avidya is the root cause of asavas. Avidya nirodha, asava nirodha. When you get rid of asava, avidya, asava will be gone. So they are pretty much interlocked, interconnected. And Noble Eightfold Path is the only way for all of us to get rid of this samsara. Now we see that. And when Venerable Sariputta explained this thing, Yatoko also Aryasavako evang asavang pajanati, evang asava samudayang pajanati, evang asava nirodhang pajanati. Evaṁ asava nirodha gamini patipadam pajanati. So sabbaso raganusayaṁ pahaya patighanusayam pativinodetva asmiti ditti mananusayam samohanitva avijjam pahaya vijjam uppadetva ditteva dhamme dukkha santakaro hoti. If you want to attain Nibbana, this sutta is more than enough. You practice it, you learn it every day, learn how important these things are for us, and practice this in your meditation. You think of these things. This can be a really very powerful vipassana meditation for you. When a noble disciple has thus understood the taints or the asavas, the origin of the asavas, the cessation of the asavas, and the way leading to the cessation of the taints or asavas, he entirely abandons the underlying tendency to lust. When you know that already, that person can get rid of sabbaso raga anusayam pahaya, entirely abandons the underlying tendency to lust. Patighanusayam pativinoditva, abolishes the underlying tendency to aversion. Asmiti ditti mananusayam samohanitva, he extirpates or completely abolish or deteriorate, completely cut off the underlying tendency to the view and conceit, I am, this is me, this is myself. That ditti asmi mana or ditti mana ansaya, this will be again gone. Avijjam pahaya vijjam upaditva, having abandoned the ignorance, arousing true knowledge. Ditteva dhamme, in this life itself, here itself, dukkhasa antakaro hoti, he will make an end to the suffering. Ettavatapiko also Arya Savako Sammā Diṭṭhi hoti. In this way also noble disciple can have Sammā Diṭṭhi. Ujugatasa Diṭṭhi, he can straighten the Sammā Diṭṭhi. And Dhamme Avecchapasadena Samannagato hoti. If you really know this thing, you have unshaken confidence in the Dhamma. And then agato imam saddhammam, you can definitely say you have arrived to the true Dhamma. Idang avocha, idam avocha ayasma sariputto, idang avocha ayasma sariputto. Venerable Sariputta said this. Attamanate bhikkhu ayasmato sariputtas bhasitang abhinandunti. Attamana means very happy. The monks were so happy, satisfied to listen to the Venerable Sariputta's Bhasitang Dhamma talk. And they were abhinandunti, means they were very happy. So with that, we conclude the powerful Sutta Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta. Sammā Diṭṭhi Suttang Nittithang Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Okay. Over to you. Do you have any question? All right. So then with that, we conclude for today. Thank you everyone for joining us in this Sammā Diṭṭhi Sutta. And I recommend you, you watch our previous lessons too regarding this sutta, and we will meet with another very important sutta next week. That will be Satipatthana Sutta. Satipatthana Sutta is a really important sutta again. So we will discuss about that next week, and hopefully, and so by the power of this beautiful, powerful sutta learning, listening to this powerful Dhamma talk, may you be well, happy, healthy, and safe wherever you are. May all your near and dear ones, your family, friends, relatives, teachers, elders, and all the Dhamma friends, everyone in your neighborhood, everyone in your country, and everyone in the world be well, happy, healthy, especially people who are suffering from COVID-19 around the world, people in Indonesia, people in India, people in Sri Lanka, people in USA, and everywhere else in the world. We want to share the merit with them, share the blessings with all of them. May they all be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May the Noble Triple Gem bless them, help them, protect them, and guide them towards the right path. And we will also think of all the people who are suffering from chronic diseases, very uncomfortable, difficult situations. There are some people, some of our friends are also having difficulties. We want to think of all of them too. We want to share this powerful merit with all of them too. And you can also think of your beloved ones. May they all be well, happy, healthy, and safe. And let us also share the merits with all the other people, whosoever. And let us transfer merits to the departed ones. So may they all the departed ones receive this merit, share this merit, be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all of us and all of them be able to live according to the Dhamma. May we be associated with the Dhamma. May all of us be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, let us keep our palms together close to our heart and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassato mate bhavattvantarayo sukhe digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotte bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena Sada sotti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante ji, for your wonderful teaching. And thank you, everyone, for joining.